Hi weaving friends. People are often surprised when they tell me about some issues that they're having on their loom, and I ask them whether they have packed their front beam. And a lot of people's reactions to that is like, pack the front beam? Is that something that you do or can do, or do people do that? And then they're doubly surprised when they give it a go and find that it fixes a lot of the problems that they're having. So today I'm going to talk about what kind of problems you might be having and why packing your front beam is a great solution. Today's video is brought to you by the Beginner's Rigid Heddle Weaving class from Woe to Go. This class is available for single purchase at the online weaving school, or if you already have a membership, simply log in and enjoy the class. This beginner's class is great for absolute beginner rigid heddle weavers, but also it's fantastic for those who just feel like they're lacking confidence with their loom and need that little extra bit of help to get going. The class helps you to demystify all the processes that you go through in order to weave a successful project. This class has been life-changing for so many weavers, and I know that you're going to love it too. Pop over and take a look at all of the testimonials there from happy students. And because you are a valued subscriber to this channel, today I am offering you a discount link. So make sure you check down below, click on that link to apply your discount. Now on with the video. The evil Santa strikes again. If you don't know about the evil Santa right here, you can go and watch my Christmas trees video and you'll find out the whole story. So today's video is about packing the front beam. If you haven't heard of this before, I'm going to explain a little bit about why I think it's an important thing to do and the impact that it could have on your weaving. So we're all very good at packing the back beam, aren't we? You know, when we're rolling on our warp, and we use separators at the back beam. You can't see my separators here because I'm near the end of the warp and they've all dropped out by now. But you can either use cardboard sticks or you can use a nice thick craft paper. You know what, I'm going to link to a craft paper down below as an example, because a lot of people ask me about what weight of paper and what exactly do I mean by a roll of brown craft paper. Have a look down below if you want to have a look at that link. But whatever you happen to be using as your separator, we always do that at the back beam. But when we get to the front beam, we might not think about packing that as well. So let's say that you have been weaving along and you are ready to advance your warp, and you're advancing and advancing. Have to make this come forward a little bit more. So I'll take my warp around. So my cloth starts to go around the front beam. And what do you notice here right away? We've got lumps and bumps. The lumps and bumps come from, if I unroll a little bit here, just so that we can backtrack for a moment, the lumps and bumps come from our initial knots. When we were knotting on the warp to the front apron rod, which is an essential part, whether you lash on or you knot directly onto the rod, you've got to get that warp onto the front apron rod. And then as you weave and advance your warp, that starts to have an impact on your weaving, because those knots, they're not all that flat. They do get flattened out a bit by being sort of sandwiched a little bit between the apron rod and that front roller, but they still have an impact on the work. So you have these lumpy bits, and depending on the yarn that you're using and the type of project that you're weaving, this can be accentuated so much that they can actually separate the weaving that you have already done. I've had this happen to me before when I've used slippery sort of a yarn, like a tencel or a silk or a bamboo. Those knots can push and separate those threads that you've woven so beautifully together, and that might be irreparable. You might not be able to come back from that, because even though it will improve after a wet finish, you're still going to have some sort of damage there. And also another thing that's happening, and this straight line of weaving here that I have right here is a perfect example This was a straight line a moment ago, but now it's a wavy line. So what does this mean? It means that sections of my warp have become less or more tensioned than others. And that's why that line has become wavy. And you can see with the dimples and the risen parts, the lumps and bumps, that is actually stressing the warp in some parts and relaxing the warp in some other parts. Okay, have I convinced you that you need to pack your front beam? I hope so. So here's a little example of my brown craft paper. So all I need to do, and you can use cardboard separators for this as well, but the roll of paper just works a charm. So when I come to advancing my warp for the first time, or if my cloth, the bottom of my cloth gets towards the front of the loom and I start to see lumpy bumps, then I want to insert this paper underneath, just pop that in there, and then I can start advancing as usual. And if you're using a roll, it's easier to not use too long a roll at the front. You can cut it to lengths, just because it's annoying to have, a roll of paper going right down to the floor and you're sort of kicking it and everything. So then when you keep advancing, so we'll do a little bit more, your warp gets better and better. Your weaving really smooths out. Now it has the added benefit, we'll go a little bit further. Packing the front has the added benefit of really improving your tension. This tension here right now is just absolutely beautiful in a way that it wouldn't be if I hadn't introduced this paper roll. And so if you're having problems with your tension already, packing the front beam can completely fix the tension in some cases. I hope that this was super helpful to you today. If it was, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it. Thanks so much for watching, for all your support, and until next time, happy weaving.